Well, it's lovely to be here, but actually, what we need to do is it's time to take the best and brightest brains to solve the world's most critical social and environmental problems. I strongly believe it's actually time to flip the traditional model of social change totally on its head, to change the players, to change the model, and change the approach.
Who are the players and where do they need to be?
Well, we need business people and university students. I like the unprogrammed young brain as well as the professional older brain. And the model is a business model, which is time bound, well researched, accountable. And the approach I use is fun because we've got enough stress in our lives as it is. So when I engage business leaders and university students and bright young things to help, I actually couch it in a very fast-paced, challenging competition, a game. And I don't want their money. I want their intelligence, their entrepreneurial skills. I want their innovation, their creativity.
What's the best idea you've heard to date?
Oh, wow, gosh, I've had so many. I mean, I've just come from Nepal helping after the earthquake, and this very, very remote community that was just really completely devastated in the earthquake. And they were just living hand to mouth, hand to mouth. And one of my business leaders during this competition realized that if we planted the very simple marigold in this high Himalayan area, the market for it is limitless. Hindus use it as a sacred flower. They had no idea to do it before. So now we have a thriving cooperative just because someone realized we need this simple saffron flower would grow in this remote part of the Himalayas.
Yeah, what a fabulous idea. I think we all have charitable hearts, Linda, but I think there's increasing skepticism about just handing over money and expecting it to get to the people that it's intended. We hear time after time now stories about charitable organisations and donations being tied up in administrative costs. I know that people need to be employed to distribute this money and have the big ideas, but it's just too much in administrative costs. So do you have an idea or a way to get around that?
Well, yes, and I think, do no harm if you don't know where the money is going. I know often we're running to have a coffee and you hear the tin rattling and you pop in a few coins and you sort of done your bit. But actually, maybe you don't know exactly where the money is going or how much it will reach the people. So that's why I'm passionate about people stopping being charitable, giving of their money, and to be capable actually giving of your gifts and your time. Far, far more valuable. It's better not to give if you don't know where it's going.
Linda, we've seen a bit of a shift from governments. Every year we have our federal budget. Ours was handed down just a week ago, and again, baked in there were a reduction in foreign aid. All countries and all budgets are under a bit of pressure, and we often see this argument. I see it all the time on Talkback Radio, on the letters pages of the newspapers, and even on social media, that why are we giving money to people overseas, foreign aid, when we can't house some of our homeless people in Australia? How do you get around that? Is there a more parochial view that is working against this broader humanitarian view?
Well, I mean, I agree. Charity has to start at home. You have to be able to look at your own situation as much as overseas. But that's why the model I use and the way I teach it is to shine a light around your feet. Ensure that the people around you, your community around you, are being well served. But equally, it's never about money. You see, this is the thing. That's what really frustrates me when you hear of the millions and the billions going to aid, because I really believe if we just took a little bit more time to really wear the moccasins of the community, to actually get to know them, what they want, what they would like, to make it sustainable. I mean, when I was working in Thailand after the tsunami, we started this huge rubber tree project right where the wave had hit. The rubber trees were still standing. But to actually uplift 4 complete families' lives sustainably, generationally, was $250 because the business people had researched and really found out that this was a viable market for 10 years. So it's never about money. But what I would suggest is, of course, you have to look in your own backyard as much as overseas.
Are governments and business getting better at doing this? Are they taking up some of these ideas? I know that there has been a bit of a view from our own Foreign Minister, Julie Bishop, when it comes to distributing aid in the Pacific. It's more looking at projects that will give back rather than just handing over cash. It's building infrastructure, putting money into programs that will then run themselves and create jobs.
My mantra is a hand up, not a handout. Handouts create beggars, dependency, complacency. It doesn't matter where it is in the world. The key thing is to actually find out what they can do to make themselves self-sustain. And that does take time. And it's never a blanket approach. But that investment of time and intelligence and critical analysis plays dividends long term. Hand up, not a handout.
Linda, what are you doing in Sydney? Do we really need that much help? And what do you hope to achieve here?
Well, I was invited here to meet with some of the local banks, which is very exciting because I've worked with business leaders all over the world. But equally, I've been asked to present here on tomorrow night on the 17th. And it's going to be to really inspire people who are in the business world, entrepreneurs, and really show them how they can engage and make a difference and leave a legacy. And it's registered on Eventbrite. If you look up Lectern Rock. And the venue is Beta Bar, and it's a really cool venue. I'm so excited to be presenting there, and it's tomorrow night at 4 o'clock.
We've got all the details on the screen, Linda, so you don't have to remember them off the top of your head. Good luck with it all. Some fabulous ideas, and we hope to hear about them. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye for now.